In this video, I've been to an auction. So I've got some of the stuff that I purchased here kind of laid out. I'm going to go through this and see if we can find something interesting and describe what it is to the best of my knowledge. Let's take a look. Okay, first up we had a box of Reo Hubcaps. Everybody's probably familiar with the band, Reo Speedwagon. Well, that was an actual company. The Reo Speedwagon was a popular truck platform that they made a lot of things out of, fire engines and other things. They were kind of known for speed and dependability. What some people don't realize is that they actually made a car. The Reo car is made from 1905 all the way up into the 1930s. The way that came about is the guy that started the Oldsmobile company, Ransom Olds. He started that company and left the company in 1905 and to start a new company. He can't use Oldsmobile again, so he used his initials, Ransom E. Olds, R-E-O. So that's what the Reo stands for. That's the guy's name. Anyway, these are different years or different models of Reo hubcaps. That one's got some nice pebble graining in there. So I'll see if I can figure out what these go to and find new homes for them. Next up, we've got a big giant headlight made by Guide. Guide supplied a lot of headlights for a lot of different brands. Luckily, this one says Reo right at the top. How fancy is that? Anyway, this is a big Reo headlight. Probably I'm going to find some more Reo parts. There was actually a 1929 Reo there at the auction, which is going to be helpful. And hopefully we've got 1928-29 Reo written right on it. So the mystery is solved. This is a Reo headlight. So we'll be able to find a new owner for that. Next thing we've got is this windshield right here, which I originally thought might have been 32 Ford because there was a 32 Ford there, and there's also a 29 Reo there. So I took a reference shot of both of those cars, and it doesn't really seem to match exactly either car. See, there's a little bit of a clipped corner there. All right, so here's the picture I snapped of the 1929 Reo when I was at the auction with the Ford sitting behind it. All the pictures I can find of the Ford windshield, they're straight up and down all the way to the bottom, so it's not a Ford windshield. Let me zoom in a little bit on this Reo picture. Yeah, the side frame on this one cuts in actually way more than the windshield I have, so I guess it's just going to have to remain a mystery for the time being. Now here's a box actually labeled Reo flaps, although these are tire flaps that really would probably fit any car that would have about that same wheel diameter. What these things were is back in the olden days when we had inner tubes, the inner tube would go inside the tire, but there's a possible that it would rub on the metal rim. So you wanted to prevent that because you didn't want any kind of punctures in your inner tube. So you used these flaps, and what these did is they just went around the steel rim, and then they kind of protected the inner tube from rubbing on the steel. And that's really all they did, is kind of a protective layer for your inner tubes. And there's probably a whole set of three of them. All right, not a whole set. Anyway, that's what those things are. Here's a rear convertible top window, both inner and outer parts. So the convertible top material would go and be sandwiched in between those. That way you can see out the back when your convertible top is in the up position. Probably from Reo, something from the late 20s or early 30s anyway. Here we have some kind of a suspension part, helpfully labeled 1929 Flying Cloud. So that's Reo once again. Reo Flying Cloud was one of their cars, hopefully labeled with a price that maybe is still accurate. Who knows? Anyway, it's a suspension part that I got to figure out exactly where it goes. It's got some looks like some balancing weights on there, so that part probably attaches to the wheel, I'm guessing. Anyway, there's that, and Moving right along. Here we have kind of a mystery water pump. I was guessing Reo, but upon closer examination, this actually does not look like an OEM weld on there. I'm guessing somebody couldn't find the right water pump, so they kind of fabbed something together from a couple of pieces to make it work, and I probably have it because they eventually found the right one. Anyway, this is maybe would fit a Reo, but really it's just a fab together something to work on an engine that they didn't have the right water pump for, I'm guessing. We also have some sort of all-purpose mystery holes in there. I'm not sure why you want to drill holes right in that location, but there they are. Anyway, we have some more water pumps. Now these, I recognize right away. Could tell them from a mile away. These are Model A Ford water pumps. I got two of these, nice and greasy. I like to see some grease on things, means things aren't rusty. Well, except for up here, it's very rusty. Anyway, if you ask my wife what I do when I find grease, is I take these and I rub them all over my good clothes. Anyway, I don't actually do that, but I'm sure that that's what she believes. Oh, turns out I did get some grease on me, but my clothes are fine, so we're okay. Luckily, I buy these things by the gross. Hey, funny story. Years ago, I was on a Model T tour with Model T. Band went out. So I ended up having to change bands. I missed a whole day's touring because I had the quick change bands, so it only took me a full 8-hour day to change my bands. Anyway, as I was working on that, I had a shop rag that by the end of the day had gotten fairly greasy. That evening, there's a charity auction, I think to raise money for the youth group or something. A certain relative of mine had taken great pride in this expensive thing that he had bought to be auctioned off. Anyway, I went over to take a look at the auction stuff, and I kind of looked it over. And wiping my hands with a shop rag, just like I am now, and set it down. And I actually didn't stick around for the auction because I was kind of dirty and I wanted to go and wash up. So anyway, after the auction, my relative comes back and I said, well, you know, how's the auction going? And he's a little upset because he says, you know, this thing I brought good money. But you know what was right after it that brought even more? This greasy shop rag. And I thought, oh, okay. The auction, since it's, you know, charity auction, so the auctioneer must have, you know, talked it up as, hey, look at that. It's official Model T grease. You guys like grease, don't you? And then everybody is sort of in good humor, since it's charity, had bid it up, and it had actually brought a little bit more than what this other thing was. So I said, oh, that must be where my shop rag was. I've been looking for that. Yeah, it's a little kind of humor. Anyway, back to all right, next we've got a whole big bag of Murphy fasteners. Well, I call them Murphy fasteners. Murphy's actually a brand name, and a lot of the early ones, they come in brass and they have like an M stamped on them for Murphy. Anyway, what these things are actually for is if you have a 1920s or I suppose early 30s convertible top or touring car, you use like 1 million of these things. They go all around the place. And then when you put your, especially if you have side curtains and you put the side curtains on, the fabric goes down over that. And then there's like a little like a female grommet that it fits through, and then you just twist them 90 degrees like that, and it holds it in place. Anyway, these things go all around on the top bows and around the back of the seat and the sides and around the cowl. Anywhere where you want to kind of hold these things in place. There's another style, I don't know, I refer to them as lift-a-dot, but that's a brand name also. That's more like a little snap. Anyway, that's where those things are. You can go through a lot of them, and here is actually a lot of them. These look like they're all brand new. Oh, that one's chrome, and that one's black. These ones look like they're all brand new, so probably repops. Ye oldie suction cup style valve lapping tool, lap. It's got a wooden handle, nice old one. Here are a couple of distributors. These are both Delco Remy 640Gs and a Bakelite distributor cap for a 6-cylinder car. This one actually fits very nicely on here, but doesn't fit on this one. Actually, upon closer examination, it looks like somebody has installed the hinges on this one upside down, and that's why I'm getting some interference on this. So this needs to be taken apart and turned around, and then unfortunately the little ear is broken off of this one, so it's broken. This is Bakelite, which is a early form of plastic, pre-World War II. Nice brown Bakelite piece. You can get these things remanufactured now, but they don't make things out of Bakelite. It would be some kind of plastic. Hey, trophies. I actually got a lot of trophies. I didn't actually buy them. I don't really buy trophies because I find that they don't really have any value. Nobody wants generally other people's accolades. But I had bought some other things that they were given to me for free. Just, you know, here, take them, make them go away. So I have a lot of them. I have a couple of them out here because they make a couple of points. This one is actually a nice one. This is an AACA National First Place. Anyone with a car would be very pleased to earn this trophy. I'm sure that the owner of it was very proud of it when he received it. Anyway, this was given to me just for free, just to get rid of it. Sort of a reminder that the accolades of this world are, you know, nice to have. Everyone likes to be told they're doing a good job, or hey, nice car, thanks for bringing it, or you know, good job on this. But really, at the end of the day, they're just given away for free just to get rid of them. Just a reminder to keep your eyes on what's really important. Keep your eye on Christ. Build up treasures in heaven, not here. I get reminded of that all the time at estate sales or estate auctions. This one over here is actually, let me get this out of the way. This one over here is actually more of a funny story, a big tall trophy, but it's got a Model A Ford there on the top of it. When I was a little kid, I actually had this exact Model A Ford. It was the top of a trophy that had gotten broken off or cut off right here at the base. So I just had this little part right here, and I played with it as like one of my regular toy cars that I played with. Strangely enough, I had a lot of toy cars. Anyway, this was one of my toy cars. That's the sort of upbringing that I had. I played with a lot of broken up pieces of trophies and things. Here we have a rim spreader, Pacific Rim Tool Company. Anyway, this is for when you had split rims. You can expand them out using this tool. It clips onto the wheel, and then you turn the crank, and that kind of pushes everything apart nice and even. If you try and change a split rim tire without a rim tool, you can actually wreck the rim fairly easily. So these are important to have if you have a 1920s, 1930s car with split rims. Important tool. Don't try and change your tire without one. Here's a Model A Ford fan blade. Oh, here's a Model T Ford fan blade. So now we have a complete set of fan blades. Got a couple of these. This is actually an axle shaft that's been broken off and then cut off. But that's really nice. That's a nice piece of heavy piece of round stock. In case I need any of that, I should save that. I should scrap it. I really should scrap it. Little tailpipe deflector. I don't know. You probably need two of those. These are Model T Ford engine splash pans. They go to either side of the engine as it sits down the engine bay. See, the engine pan actually fits down into this, so it kind of covers that area between the engine and the frame so that road dust and stuff doesn't get up into the carburetor. They continued these throughout production run, but the designs of them changed subtly as you went along to kind of accumulate different carburetors and different configurations of things. These are actually the type that would be used between 1911 and 1914, most likely repops. But that's what those things are. Here we have one all-purpose mystery fender. Rear fender does not fit a Ford. Not really sure what it is. Something early though. Nice pinstriping. No fender bracket under there to help with the ID, but it's got a hole there, holes in some weird places. I'll probably take this out to Hershey and see if anybody wants it out there. I'll put a tantalizingly low price on it. Somebody's going to come out and ask me what it goes to, and I'll say goes to your car. And they'll say, I don't know if that fits. And then I'm going to hit them with a tantalizingly low price. And they're going to say, boy, that price sure is tantalizing. I'm not sure what it fits, but maybe I need to take it home. That's when I start swinging the pocket watch in front of their eyes, and then they walk away with it. Boom, you've been swap meted. Hey, got one of these? Model T Ford front axle. Let's take a little closer look at this one. I looked at this one, and I looked at the casting numbers, not early enough to be a Dodge Brothers, and not late enough to have the later style spindles. 1926-27 on the improved Ford, the last of the Model Ts. This spindle arm, instead of being centered directly on the spindle like this one you see here, was up just a little bit, so it was off center. I think about a ½ inch. So that has the effect of lowering the front end of the car by about a ½ inch. So if you're going to be building up a Speedster or something where you want to lower the car just a little bit, you want to look for the 1926-27 spindle arms. There's other ways that you can lower the car, but that's going to gain you another little ½ inch. Every little bit matters. Here we have a pretty beat up steering wheel. This is actually not junk if we can figure out what that goes to, and that may be something that I rely on an owner to figure out that actually fits his car. This is something that can be saved. Little cracks in the plastic or the Bakelite of steering wheels are actually very common for older cars, and they can be recast. There's companies out there that will either repair this or completely recast it with all new material. You just need to have the metal core that they can work around, and you can get a steering wheel out there that looks like brand new. So I'll probably see if I can pass that on to somebody else that maybe knows what it is. All right, well, the final item that we've got here is actually it's a stop light. It says stop right on it. It's got the little clear lens up here to illuminate your license plate. So this is maybe to a production car, but could be an accessory. There aren't really any numbers. Oh, dual light. It says dual light on there, so that's a clue. So there's a lot of cars that could have something like this on there. But that's actually kind of a nice little piece. Anyway, that's about all I have for today. So hopefully you've enjoyed sort of looking through what I found, and we'll try and get some more videos for you coming up in the near future. So if you have any questions or you have any comments, the comments are down there. Feel free to say anything you like, as long as it's nice. And we'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.